Hey guys, I'm Jovan and I'm going to be your 0 point guide. Now, 0 point anchoring to some of you might sound like a very crazy idea that you can actually change channels of reality. However, it might sound very intuitively like something you can recognize. Well, I'm going to say this is not a big thing because reality does work. The architecture of your reality does work in this way. If you go in, let's say, sixth dimension, you would be just consciousness outside of the time construct, and then the timelines are formed, and then down in the third dimension, these timeline potentials are actually rendered as a physical reality experience. Okay, so then the timeline potential we will call the quantum, but the consciousness you're beyond these timelines as potentials and the quantum, and then you're also kind of zooming in here to the first person. So this is just how it works, and you and everybody is using this every day when you're thinking, um, well, let's go to the store later and then maybe meet with the neighbors for lunch, or maybe we want to cancel that and like do that tomorrow, and today we can just chill at home and have some tea. So what you're doing, you're thinking about the possibilities and you are arranging them in a sequence, and then later you will experience that as a linear time sequence, or call it 3D. Well, this is sometimes just navigating what potentials they are there, and they feel very effortless to you, so you just don't think about it. Okay, like I'm also consciousness that is behind the mind, and then the mind is selecting the timelines, and then we're consolidating that into experience. This is how it works. But the phenomena of you from outside of reality, so we're doing this through 0 point anchoring, you're going there to the place where you're realizing, okay, from this perspective, I don't even exist as a space-time reality construct and a person inside of that. I'm just consciousness. So this transcendent consciousness. From there, you can initiate an excitement that will reverberate the reality and the time and how time is supposed to go, and create a nonlinear shift. So this basically, why would you resort to such things? Obviously not if you're just going to meet your neighbors later for tea, or you're not going to meet them for tea, but you're going to go to supermarket instead. This will be your default functioning. When you actually want to initiate that reality structure changes at time, you're feeling stuck in a loop. Something is not working between your 3D identity, your ego, and how you experience the world. Something is stuck there. And you cannot, if you put more effort in fighting the problem, solving the problem, it does not seem to create any solution. So by going into higher dimension, you can actually see that the construct of your identity and the problem and the world that you're manifesting from that higher dimension is not even real, and you can shift your view and the reality can shift. So to your 3D, to your ego, to your linear storyteller, this type of shifts feel like something disrupted the flow of time. Something caused, like there was a story, there was a linearity, there was a logic. I could recognize a linear story, but all of a sudden it got disrupted. Things that were here, people, what they were talking, it changed, and now it looks like I'm in a different movie, or a slightly different movie. So this we call a timeline jump. So the timeline jump to your first person creates this disturbance of logic. Things don't flow in a linear way. The story does not flow in a linear way. It's abruptly cut, and then it's shifted. And this kind of editing to your life movie, you're doing on the go in small chunks. You're always editing, you're always choosing. And reality is just assimilating this and creating like a queue of events that you already got excited about before, and you're going to play them out throughout your lifetime. So it already works like this, but with this, we're just showing that there is a bigger possibility that we can sometimes go to a different movie where things are more relaxed, or escape the movie where we have become really constricted from our identity, creating a feedback loop. Let's say, I'm disappointed about this reality, it sucks. I'm so disappointed about reality, it sucks. I'm re-engaging the same excitement and it still sucks, and then I identify with the person that's trapped in that reality. This is where the bandwidth of our consciousness goes in a 3D. We get identified with our reactions, thoughts and emotions to something that is playing out. As we react, we are resubscribing, so we're creating a feedback loop. Now your feedback loop is working for you if you're having a nice time doing your work, spending time with your family and everything is jolly, and you're making money and you have enough time to rest, and you like, I don't know, playing music or going to dinner with your friends, and you know your life, then you affirm that what you experience excites you in a positive way, you get more of that. However, if you enter a negative feedback loop, you might get consciousness, you might get stuck in the bandwidth of identity that's 3D, that's like, I'm always struggling, I'm always fighting, I can never have the ends meet. And so because the bandwidth of that is so limited, the identity and the experience of life, they re-loop, they create a negative feedback loop. So way to get out of that is always not from within and struggling more, pushing more, fighting reality. It's about shifting perspective to that global awareness, where you can actually see, okay, even what I was thinking or what I was feeling about the previous experiences, from that perspective, transcendent perspective, it's not even real. Like, I can be tomorrow and I can be having different thoughts, different feelings, and be in a different reality. And only this perspective allows you to actually see that. And this is why it's so powerful. And you know, sometimes we use it, I use it with my clients, and sometimes like they have a broken bone and like X-ray and it's like broken, but this is quantum, and like we just shift to a different timeline and then they go do another X-ray and the bone is complete. It's there, like these shifts that usurp the physical reality or the linear sequence of events and the storytelling, they are very common. And so I've seen miracle healings, and I've seen also people just shift into something that does not make sense from the identity where you are, like right here, right now. But however, tomorrow you're going to be in that new identity, is going to be feeling very normal for you. Like the shift and what you get, it's going to just feel very normal, very neutral. However, in your previous identity, you were stuck and it will all seem complicated. So you just troubleshoot it from that perspective. And one last thing that I'm about to say, this has to do, to shift reality is not actually hard. From that space, it's effortless. But you have to allow the transmutation of your ideas of yourself, which is your thoughts and emotions, basically. Your identity is comprised from what you're feeling and thinking, and you need to sometimes like just laugh at yourself from the transcendent perspective and say, okay, I'm actually the dreamer of this like character in a movie or avatar in a video game that's doing things, and I can actually rethink, or I can actually let go of that dream and I can allow that dream to reiterate in a different form. So on a quantum level, everything's going to shift, and you can, yeah, it's pretty fun. But I know that also this can come with a lot of nuance, a lot of questions. So for that, I have a whole course in a community where we can even have like weekly Zoom meetings, and we can chat and you can ask me questions directly. And then there are also materials that you can go through, so we can all practice this together until it really clicks and it becomes something effortless. I mean, for you to just change the perspectives from first person immersion and then going into 0 point awareness. So that being said, that's all. You know, I'm not doing like big sale promotion here, like using all these kind of like sale tactics to make you purchase this. Really, I just explain what the product is and how it works. And if you are vibing, if this resonates with you, I think then the investment that you are going to make is like really, like, it pays off. So that being said, I'm not gonna do more sales stuff, but this is what it is. So you're welcome to join, and if you do, see you on the other side. Yeah.